How's it going, everyone? It's tackle prep day. As you can see, I've got a lot of crap out. And you know, the funny thing is, like, I know it's not a lot compared to most other bass anglers. I would actually probably say that what I have is pretty damn average. But I got to tell you, now that I've actually like broken it all down to individual categories, different kinds of swim baits, drop shot baits, all green trailers, all black trailers, all Ned rig stuff, grubs, tubes, terminal tackle, like, dude, it's a lot. It took me hours to get all that organized, and that's just jigs and hard baits. But I live for this, as I'm sure most other people do anyway. It's one of my favorite times of the year where it's time to actually figure out how much crap do you own, where is it all, and it's time to organize it so you can ultimately get lazy during the middle of the day and let it become a big nightmare. And before you know it, your day box that you put in your boat has become a trash bin that, yeah, it's just, it goes on. And I know a lot of people are going to feel my pain. But I've spent way too many hours at this point trying to get ready for the season. I got everything out of my boat. I got my boat ready. Everything's obviously all registered, and I got my licenses. So tomorrow we're heading down to Cape Cod, do some open water fishing. Myself, my buddy Andrew, and hopefully we're going to be up with my buddy Steve as well. I'm not exactly sure where yet. There's a bunch of options. We're going to kind of hash out in the morning, depending on what time we get there. But I haven't taken the time to go through and completely clean everything out and get an idea as to what the heck it was I needed to start the season. Usually I do that right about now, but I've never fished this early in the season anyway. So I'll have like a full week, almost 2 weeks of going through everything. Be like, yeah, okay, I've got 1,000 of these and I've got none of those and I need that, and so on and so forth. And just list goes on and on. So we did get first order in. TackleFreaks.com. We went ahead and ordered all our line and a bunch of other goodies. Some stuff that I don't even need right now, but the price was good, so I jumped on it. But the big thing was line. And this isn't everything. I have another order that's most but not all of my order. And I have another one that went in that's going to have a lot more stuff. I'm behind on jigs, although I get a lot of those from Beast Coast Fishing anyway because they have tungsten. And that's the way I like to go now. If I wasn't fishing tungsten, I'd be getting stuff from Dragon Custom Tackle because he makes some of the best damn jigs I've ever used. And that's saying a lot because I've been primarily a jig fisherman for a very long time. That night, I helped field test them. So, what do we have from TackleFreaks.com? This should be, I mean, as far as like getting the season going, this is the last box. This is the big one that we really needed because it's got line. I'm not one of those types that just goes crazy with always relining all the time. I pretty much do it to start the season and then on an as-needed basis. I've never really bought into the whole realigning like after every trip or every couple weeks. I've never had an issue. As long as you go, you know, like 5-6 feet back, like on tournament days, I'll strip like 10 to 15 feet of line out. If I feel like I got a really gnarly hook set where maybe I've compromised the line even further up, then I'll pull that much out. But, you know, that stuff lasts forever. I'm not big on filling landfills with it, so I don't like to reline that often. But beginning of the year, with the line sitting for about 2 months, which is actually awesome because I'm going fishing tomorrow. This would be the earliest I've fished in the year and also the shortest time period in between open water fishing trips. December 30th, 2018 was the last time I was out. It'll be March 17th when we get out for the open water trip. It's 11 weeks if I remembered correctly with my math. That's pretty awesome. Only 11 weeks of downtime, which I got some ice fishing in, so it was good. All right, so we have a bunch of stuff, and a lot of it doesn't really pertain to what we're doing. Zoom horny toads, I actually really like these. I like fishing them on the back of a buzzbait, and that's only very recently, so I can't take a lot of credit for that, nor was it my idea. Someone put me onto it. They're great. I have a bunch of them, so we're just going to go ahead and chuck those because I've just got a whole plethora of colors for these things. And to be honest, they're not all entirely mine. Some are, some aren't. There's still a bunch more in there. More wacky ring tools because we need those. Gotta have the dip it. That's always good stuff. 6th Sense lures. These are 6th Sense I haven't used, but from a few friends that have used them, they've said nothing but phenomenal things about it. So we're going to give those a shot. Oh, another 6th Sense. Actually, this is a really cool color. Hopefully you can see that. Really excited to throw those. All right, so now on to the stuff that's actually really important. The Zoom Super Chunks. These are, and have been, my go-to cold water jig trailers. Now, I know some guys will like thread it right through the middle, but I like to actually I like to hook these up in the traditional sense. I don't know. I've never actually really tried it going the other way. I did like, you know, the Josh's pork things when you went like the traditional jig and pigs. Those I used to hook through it. I can understand the reason for it, but you know, I've just been a fan of hooking it more traditionally, and it's worked out for me pretty well. So I got a couple of those because I was running pretty low. There actually should have been more, but I think that's what's coming in the rest of the order. That's where the partial was. But now the good stuff. Now I'm wondering if I messed up when I ordered, but so every year for years now I've been using Sigua Red Label fluorocarbon for my line. I stepped it up this year. I tried going to the Sunline FC Sniper or Super Sniper, whatever it is. FC Super Sniper, I think is what it was. And I heard really good things, and I still continue to hear good things, but I myself had a really bad experience with it. So I went back to the red line, but this year I'm going to try the Sigua Abrasics. This company has been great for me. I mean, the red line's been awesome. So I figured, what the hell, I'll go up to the next one. So I've got 10 pound, which I actually thought I was getting the Invisics, which I was going to use for, this is my cranking rod, crankbaits, jerkbaits, and then also I can use it for leader length. I may have messed that up. It's not a problem. 15 pound, that is my go-to for my jigs. That's like my main jig rod from using skirted jigs, whether it be 3/8 ounce or up to 1 ounce, and typically with a trailer. Like I have one rod that just does that kind of jigs. That's it. It's the only, what is one of 2 rods out of my 14 rods I have now that is dedicated to doing one thing. And I'm not even sure I can say that about the other one. The other one would be my drop shot rod, but I actually use that to do some other stuff. So 15 pound, I've always been really happy with that. I know the Abrasics is going to be a little more stout, so it might be still a little overkill. I would have been happy going down to 14 pound if they had it, but they don't, not in this line. 2 spools of the 20 pound. I have a couple of like all-purpose rods that, you know, in a perfect world, I don't, but they're not ideal for a lot of things that I do, and that's fine. But I'll throw like a whole bunch of different things on it. I'll throw different chatterbait setups and swim bait setups. I'll do some pitching with them. It's a 7-foot medium heavy, so for that, it's kind of light duty, but it does a job. Buzz baits, you know, things like that. Stuff where I kind of want to throw some slightly heavier things, but not like true swim baits. I think the biggest thing I've thrown on it is like the Spro Triple Trout, and you know, that's kind of heavy for it. I would never go any heavier than that. The rod's a little too spongy for that. But that 20 pound, I used to go the 17 pound, but Sigua did away with that, at least in the Invisics and the Red Label. So I just bumped it up to the 20 pound, and it's been great. It's definitely looks a little beefy, but I haven't had any issues with it. 12 pound is the last one. That one is kind of like my all-around thing. I use this for a ton of different leaders. For dry, you know, unless I'm up on the deep glacial lakes going strictly for smallies, and even sometimes I'll still use it, but I like to go like 8 pound now with that. But I can use the 12 pound for that, but I'll use it for anywhere else when I'm using it for leaders, for my tubes, and even when I'm up on smallies for tubes, I'll definitely use the either 10 or 12 pound, but I like to go for the 12. Shaky heads, things like that. You know, anything basically that is or could be considered a finesse bait. I'll go with the 12 pound unless it's the drop shot or Ned rig. Those things I like to keep really lightweight. And last but not least, little Bass Mafia box. Yeah, as you saw in that little snippet of the video, which I'll play again just to give you an idea of all the crap we have, I ran out of room. So I ordered another one of these because I just needed something else for my terminal tackle. I've got 2 Plano 3600 waterproof cases like this. So essentially the same thing, but Plano brand instead of Bass Mafia. And I ran out of room. I've got one that's right now has covered all of my terminal tackle, which is complete overkill. No, sorry, underkill. I don't have enough room. I've got all my hooks and all of my weights and all of my drop shot stuff. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to take all my finesse stuff, and you can see I got some here, and these are tin, just little ball jigs and then some little football jigs for different applications, different times of the year. I want to throw like all little stuff like that and my drop shot stuff in its own box. So the majority of my terminal tackle can go in one of these. I've got one more of these just for blade baits, which I kind of went overkill on how many I bought. And now I've got this, and it's going to fill out the rest of my stuff, and I really sincerely hope that's everything I need from my terminal tackle. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. Now I got to do some lining because it's, I can barely see my clock, already 9:15. Yeah, literally everything I own, fishing tackle and gear-wise, is in front of you. You can't see it all because a lot of it's on the floor. And I have some relining to do. That's my Team Lose Custom Pro Speed Stick with the Hypermag. This thing is so light, by the way. And this is not going to be an everlasting setup because I have a custom rod coming from Dragon Custom Tackle in the next couple weeks, and that's what the Hypermag's going to go on. And then I'm going to take my old Corrado and throw it on the Speed Stick, and then I'm going to actually rock, for the first time in my life, 2 dedicated jig rod setups, which I'm actually really excited about because I like fishing jigs. So for now, I just got a little, I think it's an Eco Pro tungsten, 3/8 ounce tungsten jig, little football head. I'll throw a trailer on there, and I'm probably going to have like 3 or 4 different jig setups tomorrow. I've got a couple of 7-foot medium rods that I'll throw on that as well. Stuff you can see in the background too. I got some Lose, the 2 BB1 Pro Series, which I don't know that I actually ever put that video up. I don't think I did. I have a whole like rod and reel arsenal video I got to do, but I just haven't had the opportunity or the right setting. And in this room, it's really not ideal because I have to be so close to the camera, and it's really hard to show off a 7-foot rod in such a confined space. So yeah, that's it. So now I've got all my stuff. I'm going to finish organizing tackle, and then I'll be up nice and early, probably 4 a.m., hit the road. It's about a 120-mile ride from where we're at, and then we'll see how it goes. Pretty much everything down there in the Cape is open, so if this first spot we hit sucks, we're just going to jump down the street. We picked a spot that's kind of in the middle of everything, so we have 4 ponds to choose from within 20 minutes, and then you can tack on another 4 if you make the drive time to 30 minutes. So depending on which direction the wind actually wants to blow from tomorrow, that's kind of really dictate our approach because it's supposed to be pretty blustery, but I don't care. It's the first open water trip of the season, so I'm excited. That's going to wrap it up for this one. Next time I see you will be open water, which, if I get my editing right, will be next video after this, the next day. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow.